Welcome back, horror freaks, to another retro review. Today I will be reviewing 1982's Friday the 13th Part 3. Oh yeah, the very first one that was in 3D, 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 3D. Set directly after the events of the previous films, the plot follows a teenage girl and her friends who go on a trip to a house near Crystal Lake, where a wounded Jason Voorhees has taken refuge until re-emerging for another killing spree. So basically, in the second film, Jason was out there kicking ass and taking names until he messed with the wrong one, and that wrong one was Ginny, who outsmarted him along with her boyfriend Paul. Jason got his ass whooped, and he's wounded. He's got to take a break, you know what I mean? He had time for a haircut, he stole some clothes, and he's back out there killing more people. And then Chris and her friends, there's Andy, and I cannot remember there's Andy, there's Shelly, there's Debbie, Chuck, Chili, and I think that's it. And she also has her boyfriend, named Rick, who lives in the area. So they're going to a house that Chris stays in, and this is nearby Crystal Lake, and they are not aware of what's going on with Jason and his situation. So they just want to have a nice little weekend. They just want to get away and just have fun. That's all that they want to do. But Jason's not going to allow that. He's like, nah, that's not what we're doing here. So let's dive into this. Is the film scary? Yes, it is. It's Jason Voorhees, ladies and gentlemen. Of course you're going to have some awesome scares in this. Just like in any other Friday the 13th. And what they do is they use the music in these films at the perfect time when you least expect it. And when Jason pops up, that increases the tension, and then you're scared, probably crapping your pants, but hey, I'm not going to tell, okay? It is what it is. The acting is fine. Some of the characters are a little over the top, when it comes to their tropes and whatnot. Some the good-looking couple, then you got the stoners, and you got the one character who's not so confident in himself, and your main character who's soon to be the final girl, and they do the best job that they possibly can. Jason is played by Richard Brooker, and this is the first time where we see a more vicious Jason. He's had enough. He's wounded, he's got to get back into the swing of things, and if you get in his way, he's going to mess you up really bad. This is one of the first films that had the whole 3D effect back in the day in the 80s, and that had the red and blue glasses, which these days is just painful to try to use now. And this is a very important installment in the franchise. Not only the whole 3D, but this is the first time you see Jason in the hockey mask, which became a trademark thing for him, and it became iconic for the rest of the franchise. And we also have these bikers. There's Ollie, there's Fox, and Loco, and they get into it with Shelly and Vera at the grocery store, and then Shelly just gets payback by running over one of their bikes, and they find the farm, and Jason ends up attacking them. So they're sort of like the other antagonists in the franchise, which is rare in these movies when you have some asshole that's trying to mess with one of the main characters, and then Jason just goes in there and handles business as usual. And I have to say, some of my favorite characters, Chris, Rick, and Shelly. And Chris is just trying to enjoy the weekend with her friends, and Rick is like I said before, her boyfriend, kind of her boyfriend. I'm not really sure what's the situation, but they had something in the past. He's really pushy, he wants to get together with her, but she had a traumatic experience, and it turns out that she actually was attacked by Jason in the past when her parents were upset with her when she was out with Rick, and she was hiding in the woods, and then all of a sudden Jason attacks her. She was unable to get away. She blacked out. She didn't know what happened, and she was still alive. And now here they are reuniting, and Jason is after her. So I thought that was very interesting. There are some characters in this franchise that have either a previous encounter with Jason or some sort of strange connection to him, which I think makes the film a lot more interesting. This entry has some of the best kills in the entire franchise. There's pitchforks being used in this film, and they use it in certain angles where the whole 3D gimmick kicks in. Jason is just hacking people up with his machete while one of the characters is doing a handstand and he doesn't even realize Jason is there. I'm sorry folks if I'm spoiling it. This movie came out years ago. This is one of my favorite entries in the franchise for sure. This is the film that really got me into horror, because prior to this it was just 50-50. And I would catch some of these Friday the 13th films on HBO. And one day I just decided to rent it at my local video store, which is no longer around. And during that summer, I just kept renting more and more Friday the 13th films, and I became a huge fan of that franchise and just anything else that was horror. I needed it. It was an addiction. And not only that, and you also have the actor who plays Shelley. He became a lawyer, and he became involved in Friday the 13th at some point with this whole big lawsuit with Sean S. Cunningham and Victor Miller in the future. So not only was he one of the more memorable characters in this film, but he became someone that's just stuck to, or he's just forever tied to Friday the 13th, whether he likes it or not. And he was doing his best to try to sort all this nonsense out. And we're still kind of stuck in limbo to this day, even though we have that Friday the 13th universe or Jason universe or whatever the hell it's called. We currently have a film that's coming out and a series. A24 is involved in all this, and we have nothing so far. So I don't know. But overall, this is definitely one of my favorite entries in this franchise for sure. It's one of the strongest Friday the 13th films. Don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes and their nonsense, because this is one of the best ones. 100%. And I will say Friday the 13th Part 3 is one hell of a good time. Strange Monkey approved. That's that. Thanks for watching this retro review. Did you like Friday the 13th Part 3? Are you a fan of Friday the 13th? Are you a fan of 3D movies? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you won't miss my next videos, or check out some of my previous videos as well. Follow me on all my social media platforms and have yourselves a good fright. Oh, shit. Yeah.